42 years old, single, live alone in a pretty nice apartment in Portland. Never really prioritized relationships, always felt like I had time, you know? Career came first, independence came first, building myself came first, dating here and there over the years, but nothing serious, nobody who really got it. Wake up one Tuesday morning scrolling through data aggregation sites for work, stumble across this demographic report about international travel patterns among American men aged 25 to 50. Something weird catches my eye in the footnotes. Over 2 million American men have participated in what researchers are calling systematic international partner-seeking behavior in the past 18 months. 2 million. That can't be right. Dig deeper into the citations. Multiple sociology departments tracking this. Consumer data from travel agencies, passport application cross-references. The number is real. Feel this weird tightness in my chest. Start clicking through linked studies. Men are leaving, like actually leaving the dating pool here and going to the Philippines, Thailand, Colombia, Brazil, Ukraine, Poland, Vietnam. Not just for vacations. They're going there specifically to find wives. Close my laptop. Open it again. Close it. Make coffee. Open laptop again. I can't stop reading. One study shows a 340% increase in marriage visa applications from specific countries over a 5-year period. Another shows declining male participation in American dating apps, down 23% among men under 40 in just 2 years. Where the fuck are they going? I know where they're going. They're getting on planes. No. Spend the next 6 hours doing what I do best. Research. Fall down this rabbit hole of forums and communities. These guys have whole networks, detailed guides, country comparisons, cost breakdowns. They call themselves passport bros, which sounds stupid, but whatever. Reading these posts is like entering another dimension. One guy writes, spent $3,000 on dates in 6 months in Chicago, got ghosted or friend-zoned every time. Flew to Medellin for 2 weeks, spent $2,000 total, met Maria, who actually cares if I had a good day at work, getting engaged next month. Another, American women my age only want 6 figures and 6 feet and 6-pack. I'm 5'9" and make $65,000 as a teacher. In Poland, I'm considered a catch. I'm marrying Kasia in the spring. Hundreds of these stories. Thousands. They're comparing notes on which countries have women who haven't been ruined by feminism yet. That phrase keeps coming up. Ruined by feminism. My feminism. Feel my face getting hot. These men are talking about us. About American women. About me? Like we're defective products. Keep scrolling because I hate myself apparently. Find this massive thread analyzing marriage success rates. Marriages between American men and foreign women have lower divorce rates according to their data. They've got charts. They're using our tools, statistical analysis, demographic modeling. One guy wrote this whole thing about how he spent his 20s being told to be sensitive, to be emotionally available, to support women's careers, to split everything equally. Then he says he did all that and got treated like he was invisible. Says the women he dated talked about him like he was a placeholder until someone better came along. Went to Vietnam, met a woman who actually appreciated him. His words, she doesn't make more money than me and doesn't care. She doesn't keep a running tally of who did what. She doesn't have a list of requirements I need to meet. She just likes me for me. Want to argue with my screen. Want to explain all the reasons this is problematic. But I'm alone in my apartment and nobody's here. Think about my last date 3 months ago. Met him on Hinge. He seemed okay. Software developer, decent job. Spent the whole dinner kind of mentally checking boxes. Does he make enough? Is he ambitious enough? Does he support the right causes? Will he do equal childcare if we ever got that far? There was no second date. He texted something polite about not feeling a connection. I didn't really care. Did I care? Shake it off. This is stupid. I'm getting derailed by manosphere bullshit. These men are just bitter because they can't handle equal partnerships. But that number keeps floating in my head. 2 million. That's not a fringe movement. That's a demographic shift. Look up marriage rates in the US for my age group. Women 40 to 44, never married, 23% in 2023 versus 9% in 1980. It's not just me. Birth rates below replacement level since 2007. Median age of first marriage for women now 28. For men 30, both climbing every year. Percentage of men reporting no sexual contact in the past year tripled since 2008. The data is everywhere once I start looking. We're not pairing off anymore. Something broke. My friend Rachel texts me about getting drinks Friday. Rachel works in tech, 39, also single. We've been doing this every few weeks for like 4 years now. Same wine bar, Same complaints about dating apps, same jokes about dying alone with cats. Except I don't have cats because I'm allergic, and that seems relevant somehow. Friday comes, and I can't stop thinking about all this. Don't bring it up at drinks immediately. Rachel is talking about some guy who unmatched her after she said she wouldn't want to move out of the city for anyone. She's laughing, but there's this edge to it. I'm barely listening. Finally just blurt out, "Have you heard about this passport bros thing?" She rolls her eyes so hard. Oh yes, she's heard. It's pathetic. Men who can't handle strong women, so they go exploit vulnerable women in poor countries. That's the script. I've said similar things before. But tonight I just ask, what if it's not that though? Rachel looks at me like I grew a second head. Tell her about the numbers, the statistics, the forums. She's getting defensive, saying these men are just losers. If they can't cut it here, then good riddance. Ask her when her last relationship was. She goes quiet. 3 years ago, dated a guy for 6 months. He wanted to get serious. She wasn't ready. Ended it. Since then, nothing that stuck. Neither of us say anything for a minute. Finish our wine. The conversation moves on, but it's awkward now. Next Tuesday, I have lunch with my friend Dave. We've known each other since grad school. He's one of the few male friends I kept over the years. Dave's 44, divorced 4 years ago, has a 10-year-old daughter. He's been single since the divorce. We usually keep it light, but I'm still stuck on this whole thing. Ask him straight up, would you ever do the passport bro thing? He almost chokes on his sandwich, laughs uncomfortably, says no, that's not his scene. But then he goes quiet. Finally says, I get it though. I must make a face because he puts his hands up, all defensive. Explains that dating at our age as a man is brutal in ways I might not see. Says he makes okay money, but not great money. He's in decent shape, but has a dad bod. He's got the kid every other week. Most women he meets on apps are either way out of his league and know it, or have such specific requirements he doesn't check enough boxes. He went on a date with a woman last year who asked him in the first 15 minutes what his retirement portfolio looked like and if he owned or rented. Another woman seemed great until she found out his daughter goes to public school instead of private, suddenly got cold. I'm listening but also getting annoyed. Tell him women have to be careful, we have to think practically. We can't just go off feelings. He nods along, then asks, but do you ever just enjoy spending time with someone, or is it always an evaluation? That hits different than I want it to. I don't answer. He keeps going. Says a buddy of his from college just married a woman from Brazil he met through some social group down there. His buddy is apparently super happy, she's happy. They're planning a family. Dave saw them recently and said he hadn't seen his friend smile like that in years. Tells me, the guy's not rich, he's not 6 feet tall, he's just a normal dude, but she treats him like he's won the lottery, and he treats her the same way. They're just happy to have found each other. Ask what she gets out of it, trying not to sound accusatory. Dave says she gets a stable husband who adores her, a path to citizenship and a better economic situation, a guy who values family the way she does. Puts it like this. It's transactional in some ways, sure, but isn't all dating kind of transactional now? At least they're honest about what they want. We're both quiet. He changes the subject to work stuff. Lunch ends weird. I'm thinking about that word, transactional. Every relationship guide, every article I've read in the last decade has been about knowing your worth, having standards, not settling. But when did standards become spreadsheets? Get home and fall back into the forums. Find this section where foreign women talk about why they prefer American men. A woman from the Philippines wrote about how men in her country often expect wives to do everything while they drink with friends. American husband helps with housework, is faithful, shares finances openly, treats her as a partner. She's genuinely grateful. Woman from Ukraine talks about economic stability, safety, a man who doesn't drink himself unconscious every weekend. Colombian woman says her American husband is nerdy and awkward, but kind and consistent, better than the machismo culture she grew up with. These women aren't victims. They're making strategic choices, same as anyone. Feel this weird cognitive dissonance happening. I've spent years advocating for women's choice, women's agency. But somehow, when women choose traditional arrangements, I want to call them brainwashed. Keep scrolling. Find a comment from a Polish woman married to an American. Western women spent 50 years winning the right not to need men, then act surprised when men stop trying to be needed. I choose different. I like when my husband feels necessary. He likes when I appreciate him for it. We are both happy with our choice. Close the laptop hard enough that I worry I cracked the screen. This is bullshit. They don't get it. We fought for equality, for independence, for the right not to be property. But I'm 42 and I'm alone and 2 million men are getting on planes. Thursday, I have this non-profit networking event. Don't want to go, but it's important for work. Dragging myself through small talk with a drink, I'm nursing too slowly. Notice this group of 3 guys in their 30s at the hotel bar. Not part of the event, they've got luggage. They're talking loud enough that I can hear them. One says, "First time to Bangkok, I'm nervous as hell." Another laughs. "Don't be. Just be yourself, be respectful. The cultural difference makes everything easier." Third guy. "My cousin met his wife in Pattaya 3 years ago. They've got a baby now. He's never been happier. Used to be miserable dating in Seattle." They keep talking logistics, which areas to stay in, how to avoid scams, which apps to use. One mentions he's been learning basic Thai phrases. They seem excited, normal guys, not creeps, just regular men talking about meeting women. One of them notices me looking, raises his glass slightly, friendly. I look away fast, feel embarrassed for eavesdropping, feel angry at being embarrassed, feel confused about feeling angry. Leave early. At the airport, I saw them again while waiting for my own flight home. They were at the gate for a flight to Taiwan. Actually Taiwan, not Bangkok, I misheard earlier. Laughing about something, looking at one of their phones. They looked hopeful. When's the last time I felt hopeful about dating? Can't remember. Get home Friday night. Rachel texts about the feminist group thing. Oh fuck, I forgot. There's this monthly meetup of women from various advocacy and non-profit backgrounds. We talk about policy, campaigns, supporting each other professionally. It's usually inspiring. Show up Saturday morning at Dana's house. There's coffee and pastries, about 12 of us. Ages range from late 20s to mid-50s. Dana starts by asking if anyone has topics to discuss. Someone brings up the passport bros thing. The room immediately gets tense. Everyone has apparently been seeing the articles, the videos, the discourse. Maria, who's 33 and works in immigration law, calls it human trafficking with extra steps. Jennifer, 56, divorced twice, says men have always run away when women demand equality. This is just the new version. Someone else brings up mail-order bride history, power imbalances, exploitation. All valid points. Things I've thought. But then Amy speaks up. Amy is 29, younger than most of us, works in social services. She says quietly, "My brother just got engaged to a woman from the Philippines." Room goes silent. Amy continues. "He's a good guy. He's not a creep. He just kept getting rejected here for not making enough money or not being tall enough. He's 5'6" and works as a paralegal. He met Leah through a church group when he was doing missionary work there 2 years ago. She's educated. She's got a nursing degree. They're actually perfect for each other. And I've never seen him this happy." Dinah tries to redirect. "That's different though. That's organic." Amy shakes her head. "Is it? He went there partly because he'd heard Filipino culture values family and faith over income brackets. That's still intentional. And honestly, watching them together made me realize how much I've been treating dates like job interviews." She's almost crying. Says she's been single 4 years despite really wanting a relationship. Admits she's rejected guys for things like having an Android phone or not knowing the right restaurants. The room doesn't know what to do with this. Rachel jumps in about maintaining standards. Argument breaks out. Half the room saying we can't compromise feminist values for male comfort. Other half getting quiet and reflective. Jennifer finally says, "I'm 56, my youngest is graduating college. I've been single 8 years. I've had sex twice in that time. I lie awake wondering if I'll die alone. And yes, I have my freedom and my career, but some nights that feels like the expensive meal I'm eating by myself." Nobody speaks. She continues. "Maybe we won the argument, but lost something else. I don't know. I'm just tired." Meeting kind of falls apart after that. We drift into smaller conversations. Leave feeling worse than when I arrived. Spend the weekend doing more research I can't stop myself from doing. Find academic papers on marriage market dynamics. One economist described it as a coordination failure. Women's educational and economic gains happen faster than cultural adaptation. Women now outpace men in college degrees, compete equally in many career fields. But mate selection preferences haven't evolved at the same rate. Women still prefer partners with equal or greater educational and economic status. Creates a mathematical problem at the top of the distribution. Successful women chasing even more successful men. Average men falling out of consideration. Those men eventually stop participating or look elsewhere. It's not malice, it's just math. Read another study on relationship satisfaction. Couples with more traditional gender role divisions report higher satisfaction in some metrics. Not because oppression is good or whatever, but because role clarity reduces conflict and increases appreciation. When everything is negotiated, nothing is given freely. Think about my parents. Married 44 years. Mum worked part-time, dad was primary earner. She did more housework, he did more yard work and maintenance. Was it equal? No. Were they happy? Yeah, mostly. They still hold hands. I've always seen their marriage as what I was supposed to improve on, but I'm alone and they're together. Monday at work, I can barely focus, keep thinking about all of it. The numbers, the forums, the airport guys, Jennifer's face. My coworker Mark asks if I'm okay. Just say I'm tired. He's 38, engaged to a woman from Poland he met while studying abroad years ago. They've been together 6 years. I've always kind of thought of her as traditional in a way I found limiting. She works but part-time, very focused on homemaking, calls Mark her king ironically, but also not ironically. Watch them at the office holiday party every year. They're disgustingly happy. She looks at him like he hung the moon. He looks at her the same way. I've had 3 serious relationships in my adult life. First one in my 20s, broke up because we wanted different things. I wanted to focus on career. He wanted to get married. Sometimes wonder what would have happened if I'd said yes. He's married now with 3 kids, saw on Facebook. Second relationship in my early 30s, lasted 2 years. He was great on paper, good job, shared values, intelligent. I just never felt excited. Every conversation was balanced and fair and kind of exhausting. We agreed to split amicably. He married someone younger a year later. That stung. Third relationship, mid-30s, the one I thought might be it. He was ambitious, driven. We challenged each other, also fought constantly. He said I was never satisfied, always moving the goalposts. I said he was defensive and couldn't handle a strong woman. Ended badly. He's also married now. I'm the common denominator in all these failures. That thought hits me at my desk, and I have to go to the bathroom, sit in the stall, and just breathe. I'm 42. Statistically, my chances of getting married now are below 10%. Having biological children, basically 0. This is fine. I chose this. Career and independence matter. But did I choose it? Or did I just keep choosing not to compromise until there was nothing left to choose from? Go back to my desk. Pull up one of those forums again on my phone. There's a post from a guy talking about his first month married to his wife from Vietnam. He writes, I was told my whole life that wanting a woman who cooks and keeps house and values family over career made me a sexist. So I dated women who wanted everything split 50-50, who kept separate finances, who made me feel like I was always one mistake away from being replaceable. I supported it because I thought that's what good men do. Then I met Lan, and she thanked me for working hard. She takes pride in our home. She asks my opinion and actually values it. I help with chores, and she helps with bills when needed, but we're not counting. We're just living. I didn't know I was allowed to want this. Close my phone. Think about what I want. I wanted equality. I wanted respect. I wanted partnership. I got all that. I also got loneliness. The equality I fought for feels like a grid where everyone's keeping score. The respect I demanded sometimes feels like distance. The partnership I envisioned looks like 2 people running parallel races, never quite together. Maybe that works for some people. It's not working for me. But what's the alternative? Give up everything I believe in? Pretend the last 50 years of feminism were wrong? That's not it either. Tuesday night, I call my mum. Don't even know what I'm looking for. We chat about normal stuff, then I just ask, were you happy? Like with your life choices? With dad? All of it? She's quiet for a second, says, that's a big question, honey. Tell her I'm just thinking about stuff. She knows me too well. This about you being single? Yeah. She sighs, not unkindly. Tells me, I was happy. I am happy. Your father and I built a good life. I didn't have the career options you have. And yes, sometimes I wondered what I could have done, but I also had you kids and a partner I could count on and a life that felt full. Asks me if my life feels full. I don't answer. She continues. You were always so determined to do everything different, to not need anyone. And I admired that, still do, but sweetheart, not needing people and not wanting people are different things. We talk a little more. I cry a little after we hang up. Spend Wednesday night doing something I haven't done in months. Actually try on the dating apps, swipe through profiles. Every man my age wants women 27 to 35. The ones who match with me, I can't find anything wrong with them, but also can't find anything exciting. Message a few. One guy seems normal, decent job, likes hiking. We message back and forth. He asks what I'm looking for. Type out partnership, equality, someone ambitious and emotionally intelligent. Delete it. What am I looking for? Don't actually know anymore. Just type getting to know people, seeing what happens. He stops responding. Thursday I meet Dave for coffee. He can tell something's off. I just unload, Tell him everything, the statistics, the research, the forum posts, the feminist meeting, all of it. He listens without interrupting. When I'm done, he asks, "What do you want me to say?" "Don't know." He leans back. "I can't tell you what to think, but I'll tell you what I see. You're brilliant and successful, and you've built this impressive life, and you're miserable. And the guys getting on planes to Bangkok or Medellin, they were also miserable. Everyone's fucking miserable because we created a system where nobody wins." Ask him what he means. He says, "Women wanted equality, but still wanted to feel pursued. Men were told to be sensitive, but also strong. Be ambitious, but not too focused on work. Earn money, but don't make it your identity. Split everything, but also take the lead. Nobody knows the rules anymore, so some guys opted out of the game entirely." Think about that. Ask, "So what, women should just go back to being submissive?" He shakes his head. "That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying maybe there's space between 1950s, housewife, and whatever this is. Maybe relationships need some asymmetry to work. Not domination, but complementarity. Maybe trying to make everything equal all the time makes it impossible to just be together." We sit with that. He adds, "My buddy with the Brazilian wife, they're not equal in the way you'd measure it. She does more housework, he earns more money, but they're happy because they're not measuring. They appreciate what each person brings." I argue back, "But that only works until he decides to leave, and she's got no career, no options." Dave, "She's learning English, taking online classes. He supports that. She's not trapped. She's choosing her priorities, and he's choosing his. It's working for them." Don't have a response. We finish coffee. He says as we're leaving, "You don't have to have all the answers. You're allowed to want different things than you thought you wanted." Friday night, I'm alone in my apartment. Make myself dinner, pour wine, sit on my couch, pull up one more forum thread. Guy asking for advice on proposing to his girlfriend from Colombia. Dozens of responses congratulating him, giving tips, sharing their own stories. One comment, "These women don't expect perfection. They expect effort. They don't expect 6 figures. They expect stability. They don't expect a romance novel. They expect respect and commitment. And in return, they give the same. It's not complicated." Another, "I make $50,000 a year and I'm my wife's hero because I come home every night and care about her day and help plan our future. In the States, I was invisible unless I was a top earner. The math was impossible." Close my laptop. Look around my apartment. It's nice. It's mine. I owned every piece of furniture. It's also empty. Just me and my accomplishments. Think about the next 10 years. Same job probably. Maybe a promotion. Same apartment. Same wine bar, Fridays with Rachel. Same apps with worse odds. Same independence that feels more like isolation every year. Think about those men at the airport. They looked hopeful. When did I last feel hopeful? Realize I've been operating from fear for years. Fear of being used. Fear of losing independence. Fear of being seen as weak. Fear of choosing wrong. Built walls so high nobody could hurt me. Nobody could reach me either. Saturday morning, wake up and make a decision. Don't know what it means yet, but I know something has to change. Text Rachel, ask if she wants to talk for real. We meet up. I tell her everything I've been thinking. She's defensive at first, then she's quiet. Finally, she says, "I'm scared." Ask her what of. She says, "I'm scared I missed it. I'm scared I was so busy making sure I didn't settle that I ended up with nothing. I'm scared those guys are right about us." We both sit there, 2 successful, independent women in our late 30s and early 40s, both terrified we optimized ourselves out of love. Rachel asks, "So what do we do?" Don't have an answer. Maybe there isn't one. Maybe I spent so long fighting battles from my mother's generation that I didn't see my own. Maybe equality doesn't mean sameness. Maybe I can want partnership without it being weakness. Maybe those guys on the forums aren't all wrong, even if I don't like how they say it. Maybe the women choosing traditional arrangements aren't betraying feminism. Maybe choice means actually choosing, not just choosing what the ideology says is correct. Sunday I delete most of my dating apps. Keep one. Rewrite my profile. Take out the part about needing someone ambitious. Take out the requirements list I didn't know I was broadcasting. Just put, looking for genuine connection and someone to build something real with. I'm independent, but I'm tired of being alone. Let's see if we fit. Get a match within an hour. Guy named Tom, 44, engineer, divorced, has 2 kids. His profile says, "Not looking to play games, too old for that, want someone who wants to actually be a team." We message. Conversation flows easier than it has in years. He asks me to dinner. I say yes. Hang up and feel something unfamiliar. Hope, maybe. Or just openness. Don't know yet. But sitting in my apartment Sunday night, I think about those 2 million men. They're not the enemy. They're not even wrong exactly. They're just solving their problem while I've been denying mine. Think about the foreign women who chose traditional marriages. They're not victims. They're exercising agency differently than I would. That's allowed. Think about my feminist friends at that meeting. We're all so lonely. We won our independence, wondering now what it cost. Wonder if there's a synthesis somewhere. Some version where I don't give up myself, but also don't spend the rest of my life alone. Where I can be equal without keeping score. Where I can be strong without being closed off. Where I can want partnership without it being regression. Don't have answers. First time in my adult life, I'm admitting I don't have answers. Feel like I've been running a race nobody's winning. Maybe those guys getting on planes figured that out before I did. Maybe that's what's really unbearable about all this. Not that they're wrong, but that they might be right about some of it. And I spent so long being right that I forgot to be happy. My date with Tom is Thursday. Don't know if it'll go anywhere, but I'm trying something different. Going to listen more than I evaluate. Going to be open instead of testing. Going to stop treating it like a negotiation. 42 years old and finally learning what I should have known. Being strong doesn't mean being alone. Having standards doesn't mean having checklists. Independence is only valuable if you choose to share it with someone. Those men on the forums. They didn't outsmart me. They just wanted something different badly enough to go find it. I wanted to be right. Turns out being right is cold comfort. Sitting here Sunday night in my empty apartment that I'm so proud of. Wondering what I was trying to prove. And to who. Maybe that's the real breakdown. Not the statistics or the forums or the passport bros, but realizing I built exactly the life I thought I wanted. And it's not enough. And I don't know how to fix it. And neither does anyone else at those feminist meetings. We're all just sitting around watching men leave, telling each other we're better off, going home alone. Repeat next month, the math doesn't lie. 2 million men, and counting. Maybe they're not running from strong women. Maybe they're running towards something we forgot how to offer. Or forgot we were allowed to want to offer. Don't know. Just know I'm tired. Tired of being right, tired of being alone, tired of pretending this is working. Thursday comes, we'll see. But something has to change. And maybe that something is me.